Today we're going to be discussing the most prominent and dangerous threats to your business's success in 2020. Hey everyone, it's Ross Northern Technology Services, and today we're going to talk about security threats in 2020. So thank you for joining me as with this three-part series, and for those of you returning, thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to be discussing the most prominent and dangerous threats to your business's success in 2020. Not only how you can be protected from them today, but also as we move into the future. Because we all know how important the protection of the information is to your business's digital success. This information could be just as simple as names and addresses, or maybe you store your client's credit card information, billing records on file. That information is like gold, not only for the success of your business, but also for the cyber criminals out there in the dark reaches of the world who would steal this and use it for their own gains. So that's why we're talking about security threats in 2020. In today's presentation, we're going to be focusing on phishing scams. So when it comes to phishing scams, at the end of the day, the goal and the target of this cyber criminal is to hit us where it hurts. And where it hurts is, well, we're human beings, and as human beings, we all like free things. So whether that's the pen from the dealership, toothbrush from the dentist, chance to win a free car, personally, I'm still waiting on the keys to a Ferrari. Hackers use this excitement to get you to click on links and provide information that normally you wouldn't. So, phishing scams. In the big picture, in the big scheme, now that we've kind of touched a little bit on that, what are they? So phishing is a style of scamming where these online cyber criminals send legitimate looking emails asking to provide often sensitive information. It's an email that pushes a sense of urgency or a forceful call of action. So for example, you may get an email from somebody stating that, quick, you need to resolve a delinquency on your account, or quick, this offer is too good to pass up. I need you to sign up today and finish this purchase. So the real scary concept is that fact that these phishing scams have increased by another 21% in 2019 with an additional 18% in 2020. So what do they do? What do these phishing scams do? They trick you into providing secure information to them using a false pretense. We all like to imagine that it's just, we're too smart, we're not going to be duped by these, but millions of people every day are getting duped by these scams. They come in this form of an email, or maybe even you've gotten the phone call tactics. Phishing scammers use this excitement or fear to get you to click on links that look legitimate, oftentimes using websites like PayPal, government websites like the IRS. What do they look like? Some of these major cybersecurity threats are masquerading as Google services, cloud storage, online banking apps. They often have links that are going to look like a normal link for the business that they're attempting to mimic. Or you may even show up as from someone you personally know. So how do we really know? How can we really spot these phishing scams? How can we help solidify that this is something that we shouldn't be clicking on, that we shouldn't be following through with? There are 5 red flags for a phishing email. The first one is poor spelling and grammar. While occasionally typos happen, we understand that, but the companies that are really truly pushing these campaigns out have millions of dollars into R&D to make sure that they're not sending out emails with poor spelling and grammar. Offers too good to be true, free items, a lottery win, the good old-fashioned Nicaraguan prince who's got the $1 million inheritance he wants to send your way for only $1,000. A random sender with too much information. This is especially known with the spear phishing type of attempts, where what they do is they actually go through and they pull information off of your public channels like your social media, your company's website. This way they can try to solidify that they know you and that they're a real person on the other end of things. The URL or email address isn't quite right. So a lot of times people will get that, they'll say, oh hey, I think my email's been breached because so-and-so got this email from me, but I never sent it. So one of the ways you can always kind of help take that to the next level is take a look at that email. Look at that top of that email message. See what that reply to is from. Oftentimes, these scammers will go out and they will use a domain with one additional address, one additional letter in the name of that address. They're going to ask for personal, financial, or business details. One of the biggest things that happened just recently within the last year was one of the sharks from Shark Tank actually got hit by one of these phishing scams. The scammers used the name of an organization that that person actually did business with overseas and sent an email to their assistant stating that, hey, we need to finish moving this project along. We're with so-and-so, but we need you to wire over this $100,000 real quick. And the assistant didn't quite catch the 5 red flags that were in there, ended up wiring that money, and then come to find out that email did not at all come from that organization, and it was a phishing scam. So how do you prevent a phishing scam? So first off, I can't say this enough. Do not click on links from unknown sources. If you have a question about it, stop. Ask a coworker. Ask your IT. Send an email in. We get tons of our clients forward in emails to the service desk and have us review it real quick. It's okay. Go ahead and do that. So this way we can make sure that we're not accidentally clicking on false or fake emails. One of the things you can do is you can hover over the links. So if you ever got an email in your Outlook or Gmail or online, and you'll see that that link usually is something clickable. If you let your mouse sit over it for a short period of time without clicking on it, it will actually show you where that link's going to take you. If you're still unsure, call the company directly and ask about it. Don't be shy, don't be afraid, because this is becoming such a very, very common and big, well-known attack and target type. Do not hesitate to pick up the phone and call your vendor or call whoever it was that may have sent you that email and say, hey, I got this email from you requesting $100,000. Do you really need $100,000? And they'd probably laugh about it for a little bit, but you'll come to find out that, hey, nope, we're good. This is just a phony email. Don't worry about it. And lastly, remember, when in doubt, throw it out. Move it to the junk box, move it to the garbage. If it's really that important, I'm pretty sure that the person on the other end of that email will pick up the phone and call you. Well, unless they're a scammer, then they don't want to call you. So what do you do if you get scammed? Okay, so this does happen. We're humans. It is an error. It can happen. So sometimes you might stumble across a really, really good one. And they may take you on a little bit of an adventure. But I want you to take a deep breath. That's the first thing I want you to do. Calm down, breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And then go ahead and scan your computer for viruses. Reach out to your IT department. Reach out to your MSP. Have them just double check. And this is highly important if you get a phishing email which has some sort of an attachment or some sort of file onto it, because those ones may contain a virus or potentially a piece of ransomware. So then we want to go back into our last video where we talked about what do we do in case of ransomware. Change your passwords. Change the passwords to your email accounts. If, for example, somebody within your organization was the person that sent this email, even if it really was a false pretense email or a really good fake, it's still important to change those passwords, especially because we find a lot of end users, a lot of people out there aren't using complex passwords. And usually if you start getting targeted by these hacker groups, that's because they're going to take a little bit and they want to focus on your organization, especially if you have lots of employees within your organization. Reach out to the company that was faked. Call them and say, hey, I just want to let you know that somebody's going out there sending out a lot of emails on your guys' behalf and trying to get them to send them in $100,000. So this way they can take the steps and they can make sure that A, it's not potentially coming from them internally, as well as put the right things in place to help verify and lock down and secure their domain, such as domain keys and proper DNS records and so forth. Look out for identity theft. So this is kind of a really big and important one. You know, check your credit scores, check your records, and just kind of make sure that maybe there's not something else going on. One of the other big things is do a dark web scan. If you don't know what a dark web scan is, contact your MSP, contact your IT provider, and we've got the tools in place to do a dark web scan and see if potentially your email, your records have been breached and put out there. One of the big things is like passwords for website logins and so forth. Report this to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. File a report letting them know that, hey, you know, just so you know, I've gotten this from X company and da-da-da, and this is going on, and this person says this. Because again, the more that we report these things, the more we do our due diligence, the more data they're going to have to try to figure out a way to help stop this and help prevent this from happening. Because this is a malicious attack. So how can an MSP help your business? So first off, the best defense is a good offense. And an MSP is going to help put the right things in place with the right training in order to help prevent and educate and empower you to not let yourself become a victim to a phishing scam. Virus scanning software, malware protection, things like that, we're going to put those in place in order so if you do accidentally get hit or they get you with a really convincing one, then we can make sure that if there's a file attached or maybe even a bad website, that we get that file blocked before it gets downloaded to your computer, or we block your traffic to this bad website before you can actually get that fully loaded. Education, which bundles in with training. So we do things like phishing awareness training. We send out some of these false emails to try to see if we can get you. And then with that, then we can also kind of show you, okay, so here's the things to look for in these emails. These are our 5 red flags that you should have been looking out for, and try to keep this to the top of your brain, because we understand that if you're not thinking about it, you're going about your business, you are digging in deep trying to get your work accomplished for the day, that sometimes these things do get overlooked. Testing to know if your staff is handling the potential scams properly and making sure that they're reporting them where they need to go, making sure they're checking the links before they click on them and so forth. So now as we wrap this up, this is my favorite part of this video. It is quiz time. I hope you're as excited as I am. So the first question here. Phishing is a term for playing online phishing games. True or false? Alright, I really hope you answered false. Phishing is an online scam that's been the topic of this video here today that tricks you into providing secure information. Alright, so true or false? If the IRS emails you for banking information, you should probably send it to them. Think about that for a second. Alright, I hope you said false. The IRS is never going to email you requesting personal information. Alright, so finally, the last question here before we get going is, should you click on links from unknown websites? This is a tough one. No, only links from trusted websites. So with that, we're going to wrap up today's video. I want to know, did you get all 3 of those right? I really hope you did. If not, don't hesitate to reach out and call or send us an email, and we're going to be happy to help you and happy to help find a way to help empower you and your team in order to be more successful and protected from these phishing scams. Education is the simplest, the strongest solution for the storage and safety of your single most vital keys to your cyber success, your data. By educating yourself and your coworkers on what to look for in relation to these scams, you provide pertinent protection from phishing problems in the future. So as we close out part 2 of this 3-part series, I want to leave you with one question. Is your data protected? Thanks for watching. This is Ross from Northern Technology Services, and stay tuned and follow us on our social pages, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at ntsmanaged. Go ahead and find me on LinkedIn, Ross Whitmore. Send me a message, and stay tuned as we have more videos coming just for you. Thanks and take care.